my question is it discrimination that the employee may have to take a temperature check to be employed daily? And as a consumer, is it discriminatory that they have to be temperature checked before they can be the consumer in the retail situation?
So that's a great question. So I would look at it from the perspective of what exactly are the mandatory rules and regulations for that industry. So for that industry, and if you check the rules right now, there are a lot of mandatory temperature checks. Just for me to come in here today, I had to do a mandatory temperature check. That is where the standard and where the business law is going right now. And due to COVID, I don't think that you're going to find that it's going to be considered discriminatory, but more so protecting the future investment of the business and making sure that people feel safe when they come into the business. So I do not think at this time that would be discriminatory. It's just a simple check to make sure that you guys are safe and that you're also making sure that others stay safe.
And that's a great question. You know, lots of companies are requiring that daily now, just to, as you said, even get into the workplace.
And Melanie and Nina, you obviously are aware of this. Something I think that confuses people is your constitutional rights, obviously extraordinarily important, but the government can intervene on your constitutional rights for health and safety reasons. Now, a good example, an example that I use here in Alabama, if you ride a motorcycle, helmets are mandatory. Well, a person could argue that that's a violation of my constitutional rights to force me to wear a helmet when I ride a motorcycle. But for health and safety reasons, the government has decided that we want that. So under certain circumstances and for those kinds of reasons, the government can impose upon some of our constitutional rights. And I think that's missed by a lot of people when they start arguing about we shouldn't have to wear masks.
Yeah, and that's a very good point that I don't think a lot of people may realize at this point. Carl, did that answer the questions that you had? I think he may have hung up, but you know, he also asked about just businesses and if they have to check temperatures of clients coming in. Now, I haven't heard a lot of that. I know there's been a lot of questions about requiring face masks.
Right.
Have you heard a lot about requiring temperature checks before?
I have. I've been in 3 or 4 places. I was in Louisiana in a courthouse last week that did temperature checks on the way in. I've been in 2 restaurants that do temperature checks on the way in, and as well as mandatory masks. And in Louisiana, we had to wear the mask through the entire hearing. So we were actually using microphones in the courtroom because those masks are difficult to talk through.
They are. They are. They can certainly be hard to hear through.